on joint variation, we are going to have two examples for us to be able to understand the concept. And actually, it's not something which is new. We are going to apply the same techniques as the ones we were applying when we were working on some examples on the direct variation and the indirect and even the partial variation. So for the joint variation, actually, even from the word joint means two things are connected, or one more than two things are joint. They are connected. So so you have a formula, and let's say, for example, A is equals to something. What is there in the something is we have some variables which are connected, right? There is no separation. So they are connected together, and we refer to this kind of variation as joint variation. And even the examples, when you go through them, it's not something which is so new. So let's dive into it. So the first example reads, a quantity A varies directly as quantity B and inversely as the cube root of quantity C. If A is equals to 12 when C is equals to 1 over 8 and B is equals to 1 over 24, then we are required to find the formula that's connecting the two. So first of all, let's write down the formula. How is it going to appear? We have A is equals to A varies directly as quantity B and inversely as the cube root of quantity C. Remember, we have B and C. A is equals to something B and C, and we have to introduce our constant of proportionality. So we have, let's say, K is our constant of proportionality, and then we have quantity B. It varies directly as quantity B. We have a B there, and inversely, so there must be some sort of a fraction. So inversely as the cube root, we have a 3 there, cube root of C. So that's how it should appear. And then we come to now the substitution, where we have A is equals to 12 when C is equals to 1 over 8 and B is equals to 1 over 24 to find the value of A. Then once we get the value of A, it will be, to get the value of K, because we have the value of A, B, and C. So once we solve for the value of K, it will be so easy for us to find the formula that's connecting actually the three, A, B, and C, not 2. All right. Okay. So let me start with just like the value of A. So A is, we are told that A is equals to 12 is equals to our K, which is our constant of proportionality. We are going to find the value for that. And B is 1 over 24 when C is equals to 1 over 8. And our C should be the cube root. We are supposed to find the cube root of 1 over 8. Okay? So we can find the cube root of 1 over 8. And if you have like this, the cube root of 1 over 8, this is the same as the cube root of 1 and the cube root of 8. You can separate the two. Cube root of 1 is 1, cube root of 8 is 2. So you have your answer is 1 over 2. And therefore here we are going to have 12 is equals to 1 over 24 divided by 1 over 2k, right? 1 over 24 divided by 1 over 2. This is the same as 1 over 24 multiplied by 2 over 1. We will get the reciprocal of 1 over 2, which is 2 over 1. You can cancel by 2, 1 by 2, 12, and that is 1 over 12. So here we are going to have 12 is equals to 1 over 12k. Can we find for the value of k from here? Yes, 12 is equals to 1 over 12k. and our k is equals to, we just cross multiply 12 by 12, which is equals to 144. So we have our constant of proportionality is 144. Now what's the equation that's connecting? We have a is equals to b, k, b, and we have a c somewhere. So what's that equation that's connecting that? So we had initially a is equals to k, and then b all over the cube root of c, the cube root of c. So what's the equation that's connecting this? We just come where we have k and insert the 144, and the equation is like this: a is equals to 144 b divided by the cube root of c. And yeah, that's example number 1. So for example number 2, we have, it reads, a variable L varies directly as a variable M and inversely as the square root of a quantity N. Sorry for the typing error. Find the change in L when M is decreased by 10% and N is increased by 21%. So as usual, first, let's write down the equation how it's supposed to appear with the constant of proportionality present within the equation. So this is L is equals to, varies directly, let's have our constant of proportionality, varies directly as M, and inversely, wherever you see inverse, no, there will be a fraction there. So you have to have your first variable then divided by something, inverse, all right? So inversely as the square root of quantity N. And then from there, I think it will be easy. So let's read the question and understand what it requires us to do. We are required to find for the change in L when M is decreased by 10% and N is increased by 21%. So let's assume this is our equation 1. We have to come up with equation 2 with these changes: a decrease in 10% and an increase in 21, or an increase of 21%. So let's say now L1, now our equation 2, L1 is equals to k. The constant is just there. M has decreased by 10%. So assume the first M in totality, it was 100%. 100%. So if it has to decrease by 10%, then the new M, assume that was M, which is 100%, and here just have an M. So we are going to have 90% of the M, right? So this is the same as 0.9 M. And the same case to N. N increased by 21%. So initially N was, we had 100% N. 100% 100% N. We have to add, it's an increase. You add a 21% of that N, and this is 121% N, and 1 is the same as 1.21 N. So these are the changes: 0.9 M and 1.21 N. And at this stage, maybe you can't tell whether the L, the new L, will increase or decrease. We'll find out after we work out, right? So L1 is equals to, assume this is our M1, and this is our N1. So we are going to have our N1 as 0.9 M all over. Our N1 is 1.21 N. Okay. Now, sorry, there is a square root here. Square root of N. We add this square root, right? So we have the 2 now. So assume this is our equation 2. We have equation 1 and our equation 2, and then we have to find for the change in L, right? So this is still the same as if we bring out the 0.9 and the square root of 1.21 N, we are going to have 0.9 all over the square root of 1.21, and then we have our K, and then M all over the square root of of n. With the square root of 1.21 and the square root of n, it's like we've split the two, or because they are the 1.21 and n, all of them are under one square root, so you can split the two and have square root of 1.21 and the square root of n separately. Okay, so it's going to be L1 is going to be 0.9 all over the square root of 1.21 is 1.1, and then we have our km all over the square root of n. And initially our n originally was L is equals to km all over the square root of n. Okay, can't you see this is just the same as this? So that means L1 is the same as 0.9 all over 1.1 L, right? Okay, so now we can find for the change in L. Change in L, the percentage change in L, percentage change in L is equals to L1 minus L divided, let me write it somewhere where there is enough space. So the percentage change in L is equals to L1 minus L divided by L, and then we have to multiply by 100%. Okay, what is our L1? What is our L divided by L, and then we have to multiply by 100%. Our L1 is this 0.9 all over 1.1 L, then minus L divided by L, and then we have to multiply by 100%. Okay, 0.9 divided by 1.1 is just the same as 9 over 11. Do you all agree with me? Then we have to multiply by 100%. If I can just work it out here, 0.9 all of 1.1, if I want to get rid of the decimal points, I have to multiply by 10 both sides, and here becomes 9 over 11. That's why we have a 9 over 11 there. We have 9 over 11 L minus L divided by L, and then we have to multiply by 100%. 9 over 11 L minus L, we are going to get negative 2 over 11 L divided by L, and then multiplied by 100%. This L can cancel with that, and we are going to have negative 2 over 11 multiplied by 100%, and this is the same as what? Negative 200 divided by 11%, and this finally comes to minus 18 to all over 11%. And therefore we can say that this was the percentage change, in L. So if I don't want to write using the negative sign, it means I have to write a decrease, because a positive indicates an increase while a negative result indicates a decrease. So this means our L decreased by 18 2 over 11 L. So our L decreased by 18 2 over 11%, and that's your answer. So I hope you've been following through and at least you've understood something. Yeah, and kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share. Until next time, thanks, bye.